Okay, so get out your trigonometry worksheet. We started going over sine, cosine, and tangent. I believe it was on Tuesday. So let's go back over those notes. Sine of an angle. Now, guys, that symbol with looks like an O with a line through it is the Greek symbol for theta, Theta, and it just means an angle. So we can put x there, we can put theta there. It does not matter. It just means an angle. So what two sides was sine equal to? Opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Okay, so once again, let's pick up on page 3 of our packets where we're looking at trying to solve for the two unknown sides. So I think we did number 1 the other day, did we not? Oh, we did 3. We did not do 1. Okay, so let's look at number 1. All right, we have 6 centimeters. We have 30 degrees right here. So what you're going to do from now on, when you get these triangles, you're going to label the O, the A, and the H. What am I going to label the 6? H. What am I going to label the vertical piece? O. And what am I going to label the horizontal piece? A. Now, they want us to find O, and they want us to find A. So, a lot of times, my students get confused, and they're like, I don't know what to do at this point. Well, basically, I want you to cover up the A. So, physically cover it up. And so I've got, now by the way, you'll never cover up what you've been given. So in this case, I was given the hypotenuse, correct? So I never cover that up. You never cover up what you were given. So I'm going to cover up the A first. It doesn't matter, I can cover up the O. But this time I'm going to cover up the A first. So I'm just going to scratch that out. So what two sides are left when I cover up the A? Opposite, and hypotenuse, which one of these 3 trig functions? Be careful, sine. So I'm going to set this up as sine, write this down, 30 equals, what's my O? Okay, we can make it X if we want to, because we don't know, do we? What's my H? 6. Now, I have a denominator here. What is my denominator? 6. So I'm going to multiply by my denominator. Okay. Multiply by 6. So that cancels out here. Multiply by 6 over here. So 6 sine 30 in your calculator will give you 3. Okay, 3. Everybody get 3? Yes. Please check your calculators for me. Okay, now I want to go back and I want to find the A. I'm going to cover up what is, never cover up what was given. Never cover up what was given and the H was given. So this time I'm going to cover up the O side. Okay, what do I have as the two sides labeled? A and H, which is which trig function? Cosine. So I'm going to set up cosine of what? What always comes after sine, cosine, and tangent? The angle, 30, equals A over H. Well, what is my A? We don't know. Let's label it Y so we don't get confused. What's my H? 6. So what are we going to do now? Multiply by 6 And 6 cosine 30? 3 square roots of 3. And there are your two sides. Okay. Let's look at number 2 together.
How do you know what the label is?
How do I know what to do what?
How do I know whether to put OH or O next to H?
Because the O is opposite of that angle.
Always?
Always. O is opposite of that angle. Yep. All right, let's look at number 2. I've got 20 degrees here. I've got 9. Okay. Help me label. Looking at the 20, the 9 is the hypotenuse. The vertical line is the opposite, and the horizontal line is the adjacent. All right, so I'm going to find the opposite first. So I'm going to cover up the A. Never cover up what you're given. What two sides do I have left that are labeled? O and H, which is sine. So I'm going to set up the sine of what? 20 equals opposite. I'm going to label X over hypotenuse. So how will I solve for X? Multiply by 9. So do 9 sine 20 and give me that. All right, let's do, does it say what, leave it to? Let's just do 1 decimal place. So 3.1. Okay. Are y'all catching on a little bit? Okay. Now we're going to cover up the O. Okay. That leaves me what two sides did I see? A and H. So that's going to be cosine 20 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So you're going to multiply by 9. 9 cosine 20, give me 1 decimal place. How much? 8.5. Please check that. Okay, let's look at number 4. Since we did 3 the other day, but I felt like we did 3 on a day that not everybody was fully focused. So let's look at number 4. So we have 40 up here, so my angle has changed, perspective of it. Okay, so what am I going to label the 10? Adjacent, that's exactly right. What am I going to label the horizontal piece? Opposite. And what am I going to label the diagonal piece? Hypotenuse. Now remember, you're never covering up what was given. So do y'all want me to cover up the O or the H? Okay, we're going to cover up the O. So what two sides do I have labeled? A and H. So over here, which trig function uses A and H? Cosine. So we've got cosine of 40 equals A over, let's call H, we'll call it X. We'll call this one Y. Uh-oh. I better not see any of y'all doing 10 cosine 40 just because that's the way we've been doing it. You can't make up the rules as you go along. What am I going to multiply by? X. Okay. So multiply by X. Multiply by X. So that gives me X cosine 40 equals 10. So how will I get X by itself? Okay, I'm hearing different things. What are X and cosine doing? Are they adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? They're multiplying. So how do I undo multiplication? By dividing. Now I want to get rid of everything but X. So what am I dividing by? Cosine 40. So in your calculator, Do 10 divided by cosine 40, give me 1 decimal place.
13.1.
13.1.
All right, so that's going to be 13.1. Okay, so I'm still not going to cover up what I was given. I'm going to cover up this time the hypotenuse. So what two sides are left? We haven't done this one yet.
Tangent.
Tangent. I have O and A labeled. So I've got tangent of 40 equals opposite over adjacent. How will I solve for y? Multiply by 10. So in your calculator, do 10 tangent 40.
8.4.
8.4. Okay, now that we've done several, where are your questions? Okay, I want you to do 5 and 6 for me. Do those quickly. First thing you need to do is label them. Okay, let's pick up at number 5 for me. Okay, which one do y'all want me to cover up first? Make sure you label them correctly, by the way. Do we cover up the O? Okay, so I'm going to cover up the O. That leaves me what 2 letters left? A and H, which is cosine. Oh, cosine. Be careful. So cosine of 30 equals adjacent over hypotenuse, which I'm going to label as Y. What would I do? Times Y. So that's going to be Y cosine 30 equals 2. Now what? Divide by cosine 30 and tell me what you get. Cosine 30 is square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3?
Square root of 3 over 3.
Oh, square root of 3 over, that is
4 square root of 3 over 3 is right.
4 square roots of 3 over 3. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, now let's look at the O. So we're going to cover up the H. That leaves me what 2 letters left? A and O, which is tangent. So tangent of 30 equals opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 2. So guys, you're going to start picking up on a pattern here. You haven't already. What's the pattern?
2 divided by.
Okay, if the denominator is a variable, it's going to be 2 divided by that. If the denominator is a number, it's 2 times that. Okay, y'all picked up on that. So you don't have to do that every time if you can pick up on the pattern that's happening here. So what is 2 tangent 30? 2 square root of 3 over 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does tangent equal?
Tangent does not equal anything by itself. It has to be tangent of an angle, and that equals a number. So tangent of 1 degree, tangent of 10 degrees. So it's tangent of an infinite amount of numbers. Now, back in the olden days, I didn't have a calculator that did that for me. They had numbers, and I had to look them all up on a big old list. And so tangent by itself does not mean anything. If you just type in tangent and equals, it's going to give you nothing. Okay? It is tangent of a certain angle. Okay? So it cannot exist by itself, in other words. So these are all numbers associated with every angle imaginable. Okay, so let's look at number 6. Okay, what did we label the 3? Adjacent. What did we label the vertical? O. And label the slant? H. So I'm going to label this X and I'm going to label this one Y. Okay, so I'm going to cover up the H first this time. So what two sides am I left with? O and A, which is tangent. So I'm going to set up the tangent of 45 equals opposite over adjacent. So that would be 3 tangent 45. So it'd be 3. Is that it? Okay. And then the next one I'm going to cover up the O, which leaves me H and A, which is what? Cosine. Okay. So cosine 45 degrees equals adjacent, which is 3, over hypotenuse, which I've labeled as y. So I can go to my pattern now. It's going to be 3 divided by the cosine of 45. So that's square root of 2 over 2. So is it 3 squares of 2 over 2? Okay, just 3 square roots of 2.
Yes.
Okay, because I am. Hello? Yes. Okay,
Tangent equals syntax.
I sure can. No problem. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so just 3 square roots of 2. Shh.
But I got 3 square roots of 3.
Something's type in 3 divided by cosine 45 again.
This is
3 divided by
cosine.
45.
Maybe 3. I guess it's 3.
Yeah, it had to have been. Okay. All right. Any questions on this before we move on more practice of this? No.